While we have been struggling for many decades, the LGBT movement, and specifically Pride, was founded off of the Stonewall riots, when our community fought back against the legal oppression and discrimination and violence that our community was facing. And we continue to face those struggles day after day, year after year, decade after decade, in this long fight for equality and justice. And it was important to us to honor that legacy and honor the ongoing fight that is still lays ahead of us. And so we felt like Persist with Pride really encapsulated that. So the struggles that we were facing in 1969 were that it was illegal to be homosexual. Engaging in homosexual acts was considered illegal, and it was legal to lobotomize gay men in the state of California until 1976. And while we've made a lot of gains and a lot of progress, it's still legal to not employ people because they're LGBT in 28 different states, or to throw people out of their homes. So we really are still fighting for the right to access life-saving services and care and public accommodations. And so while we've made a lot of gains on marriage and certain employment rights in certain states, that fight is still very real for many of us all across the country. Justice Kennedy was so integral to LGBT court cases that helped us gain many of those rights. Whether it was the Lawrence v. Texas case or the Obergefell, Windsor, and Perry cases that led to marriage rights, there's still so much more at stake. And so with him being gone, what's at jeopardy is LGBT rights. And I think it's hard for folks to sometimes understand that showing up to vote at the polls means electing people in office who will then appoint people to a Supreme Court that then will translate to the very real day-to-day life that you will live and your ability to access life-saving services and care. And so our hope is that people really turn out to the polls in November to make a statement that our community isn't going away. I think for many people, I think for many LGBT people, we don't get to be authentically ourselves any day of the week. And that is true for people who are non-LGBT too. So at the end of the day, I really hope that people who participate in Pride this week just have the experience of being themselves in daylight, which is something that none of us have for most of the time in our lives, or we don't have all year round. But for 1 week in a year, we get to hold hands and we get to express our love in the daylight, and that's so important for folks.